Hello and welcome back to Pixel Perfect, episode 49. And Merry Christmas. My name is Wakata, and I realized that, we publish on Sundays, and this Sunday happens to be Christmas. So if you are watching it today, that is, the day it's published, then Merry Christmas, and if you're watching it after it, then belated Merry Christmas. Oh yeah, it's Christmas time. It isn't just Christmas month. And when I realized that, I realized that we need to complete our Ficsmas stuff. Well, today. I originally expected it to take a couple more episodes, but it just seems too appropriate that we get the star on the giant Christmas tree by Christmas Day, which is that's what we're gonna do. We are gonna push it and get it done today. Now, I don't know if there might be some final decorating things to do after today. I don't know. We'll see. We're going to get the full production up and running, and we're going to get the full research tree done so that essentially we will have completed the event. Of course, it is not the end of the month yet, so there will be some advent calendar stuff that will still need to be unlocked after this. In fact, just like last episode, we are, we know that we got a lot to do. So we're gonna, before we even finish the intro, we're gonna run down here. We're gonna do the hub stuff. We'll do the brand, and then we will meet at the job site where we can get to work for today. So where were we? Number 4. All right, let's run through some of these real quick, like a little montage. Grab number 5. Woo! Ficsmas skin. Nice. Number 6 looks like it's already chosen because it's made out of snow, which is actually snow for us. These are random, actually. There are ones that are on certain days, but the in-between ones come in a random order. Oh, looky there. 20 power shards. Wow. Nice. 8. Ornaments that we don't really need. Number 9, pretty easy to find. Color cartridges, that'll be useful. 10 is sneakily hidden right here on the belt. Oh, and there is our star. That's what we are looking for. Let's grab a few more before we go. Number 11 is next, hidden in here pretty nicely. Ooh, premium Ficsmas skin. Nice. I know what the basic skin unlocks. I'm not sure what that one unlocks, so we'll have to experiment. 12. We get coal in our stocking. Nice. We only got 1 spot left in our inventory. Let's see what number 13 gives us. Iron ornaments. All right, I think that's gonna be it for today. Just because that filled up our inventory. We'll swing back and unlock more of these as we go. The only thing we really needed was the Wonder Star. That will allow us to continue in the tree. So let's get to the job site and just get started with it, because again, we got a ton of stuff to do. All right, here we are back at Santa's workshop. Still just a front facade, but I have been busy between episodes, and I've prepped the area pretty much as best as I could without, really starting the work. Because, we want to do this on camera as much as we can. So let's stop our train here. There we go. Run over to the hyper tube. We'll soon be back to this stuff over here, the assembly director system for the space elevator. That's still going about its way. And you know what? Let's not do the tube. I do want to show you something real quick. This isn't complete yet, but something I've been kind of doing, as I was kind of doing some cleanup, is I started adding some snow mounds. This open flat area just looked too open and flat. So I started putting in some, some little ramps and whatnot, just to kind of emulate having some snow mounds and a little bit of snow drifts. And this was just kind of a prototype. I'll probably add some more around here, just to give it a little bit more shape. But still, I'm not gonna cover the desert in it, but the upfront presentation, I think, is a little bit better with it. So I like it. We'll expand on it. But between episodes, I have been very busy. I have cleaned up the entire build area. And let's see here. I think I need to connect one bit of power. I did not bring a node through. All right, I could have, oh, I remember last time I was here, I didn't have the quick wire to actually place just a wall outlet. Let's see here, 1, 2, 3. I think this is what we're gonna do. We can move it later if necessary. See, I haven't bothered to paint any of this yet because I knew that would be, cutting through and whatnot. And I didn't show last episode how the front was going. I showed this, but I didn't show how I was doing it. And what we have is just this is a simple container and a splitter so that all the items aren't back to back. So we have them just kind of splitting off and just going right back into it. And we can do that if we really want to. We can do an extra one, and that will, split up the material even more for what's going up front. And that will give us a little bit of a spacing so that they weren't all compacted together. And so I like this. I like the way this came out. It's a simple trick, but that's how we're doing, the front effect. And I think I am going to replace the candy canes in the front because they're just not visible enough. But I'll worry about that later. But the presentation is going to be, that you can come in the front door, and this will allow us to look down where we'll have the gifts streaming past. And we have our false wall right there, which is covering up, if you're looking through those little windows, that way you still see, brown in the background for the wood. And then our real factory is going to start more or less on this line right here. This is storage and transport for all of our gifts. And we're producing way more gifts than we're going to need. And we knew that when we did that initially. We made the tree farm as large as we did because it just looks cool that way. And that's all we wanted. So let's connect this real quick. There we go. So we have flight. And let's talk about what we're going to need to do today. Now we need to unlock a couple of things. Then we're going to go to the spreadsheet, and we're going to talk about the logistics of finishing all this out. You can see I moved all the storages off site so they're not in our way. And we have a ton of storage of everything, so we'll be able to unlock real easily. Of course, we need space. Let's get that coal out of our inventory. Let's see here. Our inventory is pretty full, but there's a reason for that, which we'll get to in a moment. Let's see what we need. We need our star. We need 200 of the decorations and 400 of the ornaments. Yeah, we're gonna need more space. All right, here we are with the big tree update. Actually, let's can we build one of those trees real quick? All right, let's see if we get some new decorations on this. Get a good look at the tree. All right, Bring up the event.
We see you when you're sleeping. We know when you're awake. We know if you've been productive or not, so be efficient for goodness sake.
Thanks, Ada. All right, well, it looks like we got presents under the tree. Very nice indeed. I like it. Okay. And what we're going to need for the other unlocks, we're going to need wreaths, which is going to be nice. We'll actually get wreaths that we can place, and of course the stars that we're going to need. So we need 100, 200, 500. Give me just a second. All right, there we go. This is going to let us make our star, which is what we're going to need for the end. And for the snowballs, we probably have that stuff lying around. But our final goal right here is the giant Ficsmas tree upgrade 4, which is going to be 500 of those stars. You know, I told you earlier in the event that this is going to ramp up pretty good, and this is, that's a lot. Let's go ahead and unlock this real quick. 500 candy canes, 500 bows, 500 snow. All right, and we'll deal with those later. It's time for math, because we got a lot of building to do, and we need to know exactly how much it's going to take and how much space we're going to need and all the good stuff. It's the Ficsmas wreath, which takes a wreath and a bow. And those, I think we just use those for decoration. Yeah, very nice. All right, excellent. All right, let's get, we need assemblers. So we already know, you know, all the other stuff, right? We've already done production for the bundles, which require the copper and iron ornaments. And the decorations, which are a step up because they require the entire bundle and a bunch of tree branches. Well, let's wait for autosave. And those only produce at 2 per minute. And then finally the new thing, the Wonder Star, 1 per minute. 1 per minute, and it takes 5 of those decorations that are only producing at 2 per minute. So as you can see, this ramps up pretty steeply. And 20 canes, so that's kind of nice. So we get a little bit of a callback to one of the earlier productions, because a lot of the other things aren't going to be used in the final line, you know. So let's do a little bit of math, right? We said that we're going to need 500 of those at 1 per minute. That'd be 500 minutes. Obviously, we don't want to just do one of these machines. Let's bring up the spreadsheet. Dun dun dun. Hello, old friend. So I've done the layout here of what all the requirements are, and I've come up with what I feel like is an acceptable balance. So our final destination here is, of course, the star. And if we do 10 per minute, that means it would be done in 50 minutes. And this is what it all comes out to if we do 10 per minute. And 50 minutes is nothing to us, right? We easily spend that much time doing all kinds of other stuff. So that's nothing. Not a big deal at all. But as you can see, that's going to require 200 candy canes per minute. And if we look over here at the candy canes, that's going to be 40 machines because we only produce 5 per machine. So that's going to take up a fair amount of space on its own. And if we walk it back, the decorations, it's going to require 50 decorations per minute. We said that those are 2 per minute, so that's 25 machines. That's going to be a lot of ornament bundles and a lot of tree branches. So 375 tree branches, we know that those are a 1-for-1 with a gift to it. And they produce 10 per machine, so that's not too bad, right? 37.5 machines. We can handle that. The ornament bundles, you go up one more here, produce 5 per machine. That's not terrible. That's only 30 machines, 30 assemblers. That's going to take up a fair amount of space, but we can do it. We can do it. And those are going to be 150 ornaments of each type. So we just go up to here to our foundries. They are producing 5 of each on per foundry. So it's going to be 30 foundries of each type. That's 60 foundries. Yeah, we're starting to eat up some space here. And then finally 450 ornaments, blue ornaments and ingots, 300 red ornaments and ingots. And this is how that plays out. We have, because again, we have twice as many blue ornaments per machine, so only 45 machines, I say only, and 60 machines for our red ornaments. We'll also, of course, need some smelters down here for the iron and copper. That will be required. But this is our final total. This is going to require 1,500 packages per minute. We are producing over 3,000. Not a big deal. But with the large production coming on Mark V belts, it'd make it real easy for us to split up the gifts without having to really worry about it. You know, like here's a Mark V belt just for the candy canes alone, 600. So that'll probably get its own belt, and then, you know, we'll split things up as they go. And we have set it up so that we will have 2 of the belts come over here, and then 2 of them go to the other side. That way we can easily spread out the packages however we need to. And as you can see, I have started kind of a little layout here to get kind of the idea of what's going to be the balance of how we're going to put things and where they're going to go. I'm not 100% on what the entire flow is going to be. We're going to kind of play it by ear. But now that we have our numbers, we can get rid of this wall. It's going to be in the way. And we said that we are going to require 60 of the red ornament machines. And if we stick with this design, which is a good design, and it's a good design because this is how we have our blueprints set up. They are in 3s. So if we do a row of 15 and a row of 15, that will be 30, and then we can do another floor above it. That will be our 60. Super simple. Really easy to run all of this. So let's look at our blueprints. And another cool thing we can do with our blueprints is we can set them up over here just like we do with anything else. So we have, let's see here, we said we were going to need 60 of the machines. It's 3 per block. Actually, we're going to do, let's see here, 3 per block, which means we would do 5 blocks of them for one side, right? Because we're doing 15. We already have 3 of them on each side, so 4 more of them down here will be this floor. 1, 2, 3, 4. And then 5 per side for the top floor. That's going to be another 10. Just shift click. That's our 14. Nice. And we have the same over there, but we're only going to need 45. That's 5 that's 5 sets less, fewer. So we will need 4 to finish off the bottom floor. That'll give us our first 30 of our 45. And then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 will give us another row of them on the floor above it. And that gives us our requirements. Now I've set aside some inventory to be able to do all this, right? We emptied out our inventory to be able to move all these around. So let's go over here, reclaim all of our stuff. Looks like we have picked up some things along the way that we don't need. There we go. Like I said, my inventory was pretty full, and the reason was because I pre-calculated all of this. So as you can see over here, we have everything we need to be able to complete these. And we're going to do just real quick like the bottom floor, just to show how simple this is. And let's make sure they're turned the right way. And right up against them. Boom. And already falling out of the air. You know, before we do that, let's get our power run over here so that we don't misalign these things. That just doesn't look right, does it? Let's give them misalign though. Yeah, that's right. And we can just throw another one down here like that. Make sure it's turned the right way. We will math out the necessary speed of the conveyor in a bit. I want... Come on, give me the... Thank you. And I think what we're going to do is we're going to drop ourselves another pole. All right, here seems good. That way we are not falling out of the sky. And you can see I already have these pre-wired. Just connect them like that. Connect them like that. Grab ourselves another set. Boom. Flip it around. Boom. Grab ourselves another splitter. Grab a belt. Grab one belt. And Bob's your uncle. There it is. And we just have the mergers run along. And super simple. So we are done with the first floor of the blue balls and the blue ornaments. And of course, you always have to have one of these go to the wrong port, because why not? And I'll get the other one over there in the interest of time, because we've already burned a lot of time chit-chatting. We're going to drop these. You know, before we do that, let's estimate where we're going to put this, just so that we can stay in the air while we're doing this. We can do all four of them all at one time. I love it. They're pre-painted and everything. Interestingly, the back of these came out black. That is odd. I'll bet the next time we load up the game, it'll apply the color properly. But nothing to worry about. Nothing to worry about at all. All right. So I'm going to get busy with making another floor just like this, right up above it, and start to plan out kind of where do we want to, place everything else, and see how far back we have to go. And yeah, I think we're good. If we need to, we'll do a wing out on the side. We might do that maybe for some of the side products, things that we're not going to need a whole lot of, like bows and whatnot, that we're just going to want production for, just to have them, even if they're not part of the final product. So maybe we'll do wings out there and then do the main production line down the middle. I don't know. We're going to play it by ear, and we'll get all these things painted and everything. And what we're going to have is, ideally, we will have a hallway that we can walk down like this, and then we'll be able to turn and go into the different production areas. And go to the other side and do the same. And, we can do some interior decorations at that point. But that's the idea behind how we're doing this. We'll have a 2-wide hallway dividing the entire factory. So enough talk. Let's get some of this stuff down and make some progress. Okay, so that should cover us for all the red and blue ornaments that we're going to need. And I've made a couple decisions here. First of all, the skins. Look at the belts. So these were the first skin unlock that we did from the hub. So different speed belts have different skin patterns. It's pretty cool, isn't it? I love it. I love these little details. It's so cool. Anyway, I know that we have a lot to do and less time to do it in. So I'm going to go over a couple of things fairly quick, and I think what we're going to do is we're going to kind of montage our way through each segment being built, and just boop, 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 and we need to get the final products started so that they can be running while making the building. So I made a couple of decisions here, and I mentioned I wanted to have a wing, so it's not just a straight line. And I think what we're going to do is we're going to have a wing right here, and this will probably support our copper production. And I haven't decided where we're going to stuff the extra non-essential machines for, the things that aren't being used in here, like bows and whatnot. We'll find a place for it, but like a wing would be a good place for it. But for the iron, I think we're going to do the iron right here. I only want to have one wing going out one side. I don't want it to be perfectly symmetrical coming out both sides. So, you know, if you look, like, if you Google for, like, you know, winter cabins, they're not, you know, there's often a front and then a wing going off to one side. And that's kind of what we're going to go for. But again, I know that we are restricted on our time, but I want to show you, you know, my strategy for doing this. Let's see here, blueprint, scanner, or designer. Now, as I mentioned, we have this open space here, and I want to put the iron here that we're going to use for the iron ornaments. And the spreadsheet told us that we need 15 production units for the iron, which are smelters just like these. So I think what we're going to do is we're going to be a little cheesy here. This is something that I've been taking advantage of on the blueprint designer, and let's get out of the way. And it's a good example for how this can be used in the short term, not just the long term. Like, you know, you can make purpose-made blueprints for a single purpose. And, you know, these are smelters, which is what we need for doing the iron. So let's just go in here, switch this to iron, and do a copy, paste, and a paste. And we should just recolor it. Let's go with steel, and, you know, green's fine. Oh, well, we're gonna go with blue because it's gonna go with the blue ornaments. Just repaint, repaint, repaint. Do that. We'll go ahead and do that as well for the white because the iron ingots coming in, or iron ore. And that's all we need. We just save it, and we'll just say iron for blue balls. Maybe I'll rename that later, if we keep it. But the point is that if we are using something for just, you know, what do we need right now, then we don't necessarily have to worry about the permanence of this scheme. And we'll just put it in there with it because it'll be part of the Ficsmas of it. And there we go. So now we can go to our blueprints. We need 5 of these, we need 15 total. We do not have the material that we need. Let me go grab that real quick, like. I don't want to do that. Let's line it up like that. That's gonna be good. That's fine. Yeah. So normally these would come out, right, and we would just have like a row of mergers going all the way along the line, instead of having the outputs, you know, go into individual merger groups. But that's just kind of, it's a strategy that's backwards. It's a bit of a strategy for this scenario because this way we don't have to worry about, when we're doing a blueprint, what direction does the blueprint go with conveyors, right? Because it's a really easy problem. Like if we did all 3 of these and we put 3 mergers out there and each one of them into a merger and connected them, then this blueprint could only go one direction. And sometimes that's fine. Sometimes you don't want to do that. Of course, since this was a purpose-built blueprint, we could have gotten away with that because we already knew what direction it was going to go. But again, we were just recycling that one, and it's, you know, it's kind of, since it's within this build, it's kind of helping it stick with the I want to say theme, but the style that we're using in here anyway. So it's gonna look better. We already know how the spacing is going to go on these, so we're just gonna do that. Line ourselves up so we can actually see that it's all the way over. It is. Got the line so we know it's lined up. One more over. There you go. All right, so we're not going to have time to go through all the different builds, watching blueprints and of course I don't have blueprints for everything, get put in place. But this is our last indulgence, I think. What am I doing? What am I doing? What am I doing? There it is. Talking, not doing. Thinking, not thinking. But that's gonna be. Look, we did the iron. The iron is done, and that was super simple. I did all those in the wrong direction. No, that's why that was wrong. That's a splitter. This is the inputs. That's all right. We'll keep it in. We make mistakes. That happens. All right. So I'm going to connect all of these. And again, what we're going to do real quick is I think we're going to montage each segment. So the next segment should be the iron and copper ornaments, and then so on and so forth. So we'll just boop it into place. And again, we probably won't finish with the building today. So let me get to making progress. And there we have the iron ornaments all done and belted and everything. And we will need to run the iron into the window here, but it'll come down, and that's all we need for that. That's all 30. Nice. Look at that. How nice those all came out. Nice and clean. And likewise, we did the same, of course, for the copper. The red all merges together downstairs and comes through. Well, actually, work better if I connect the final connection. There we go. And that will feed in to, so we have inputs are back to back, and then we have mergers back to back. Worked out pretty well, right? We needed 30, so 3 rows of 10. And like I said, I wanted to have a wing. So over here is where we're going to do our copper, and I ran them long ways because I wanted the wing to, stick out a little bit. And next we need to do the ornament bundles, which are going to require, of course, just bringing those two together. So I think we'll do them right here in the middle, and we can have the outputs on both sides just kind of merge in and then come straight down. I think that'll be fine. And I think that's what we're going to do next. So let's pop that into place. And ornament bundles are done. Yeah, we really had to pack these guys in. That's all 30 assemblers. They're all belted, powered, recipes set. We have the inputs done for the iron and copper ornaments. And outputs, they'll need to be merged somewhere. All right, that's next step. Well, we're making progress today. All right, we need decorations next. That's going to be the ornament bundles that we're making, and it's going to be tree branches. And the tree branches are going to require 37.5 constructors. So I think next we need to figure out where in the heck we're going to put all the tree branches. Probably, maybe a second floor, right? And there is our 37.5 branches. I actually just went ahead and rounded up to 40 because we use branches for other things anyway, and why not, right? It made a pretty grid, and we have the packages to spare. And this fit in so nicely. Like, look at this. It's the exact same width as the previous one, but I went ahead and mirrored that over here for the candy canes. I know I said we were going to do decorations next, but I was going to do branches there and then decorations over here. But this, again, it was such a perfect fit, and we needed exactly 40 machines for the candy canes anyway for when we do the stars, that it just made sense to go ahead and mirror it over here and do some, the fun coloring. But it's all belted and wired up and ready to go. So that is all the candy canes and all of the branches. So really all we have left to do is find a place to stuff the 25 assemblers for decorations in, and then 10 more assemblers for stars. So I think that's what we're going to focus on here for the rest of this. Let's get the last 35 assemblers in here, get things belted so that they can actually, go to where they need to go and turn this whole thing on. So, see you guys then. Welcome to Santa's Workshop. Here on the first floor, we have red ornaments, blue ornaments, ornament bundles. We have iron and copper ornaments, all the ornaments you can want. We have tree branches and candy canes on the second floor, and going up to the third floor, we have decorations, 25 assemblers for decorations, leading to 10 more 4 stars. All right, I think everything is hooked up. I can't swear to it. Something always fails. But I know that we're running out of time and we got to get these things going. So we're gonna just turn it on and cross our fingers. All right, so question is, what have I forgotten? What's gonna jump out first? All right, we have red ornaments running, excellent. Some of the packages are finally making it to the second floor. Oh, that's good. We're going to count that as confirmed. There's going to be a lot of time for things to backfill, so don't worry about that. Blue ornaments going, excellent. They are making their way into the iron ornaments, and we have iron coming along, excellent. I can see copper and red going over to there, very good. We have our candy canes being produced. Let's see some on the belt. There they are. Oh, it's all working. I mean, sure, there's probably going to be something wrong somewhere, but we're getting some production. Excellent, excellent. There we have our branches. It's all going up to the third floor already. Yeah, so this is where it's going to take a little while because we need to get bundles going. So, here they come. All right, we're either going to jump or we're going to high speed, one of the two. And we have ornament bundles. For some reason, these kind of remind me of the everlasting gobstoppers from the original Willy Wonka chocolate factory. It's kind of what they look like. They are making their way up to the third floor, where they're going to meet up with the tree branches, should distribute out and start giving us some decorations. Let's watch for a few of those that come off the line. Our first wreaths. Well, they're considered wreaths. I mean, they're decorations, right? You know how hard it is for me to sit here still and watch this move slowly without going around and checking, for belt speeds and all that stuff. Yeah, gotta sit in place for the high speed. All right, so we know that we are now able to make all the components, right? Because we now have decorations successfully coming off the line. We know we have the candy canes. We've already seen those. Another thing I want to show you real quick, is, check it out. Look at the floor. You can see the candy canes. Isn't that cool? Using the new connectors for the belts on the ceiling. Check it out. And putting them on glass is just awesome. I want to do this more often. It's just so cool. But this is about as far out as we could widen this on this floor. As you can see, we're starting to get into this slope. But it worked out perfectly. I think it's just great. So the candy canes are going in. We have decorations slowly making their way. You see it's filling up with the candy canes. It's going to take 5 decorations for us to get going. So I'm just going to jump to some of these running because I want to run around the factory and just make sure that there isn't any obvious bottlenecking. Like, we're still not seeing a lot of packages going along that line there. That makes me feel like maybe there's something moving too slow at some point. I don't know. I'm gonna run around it. I just don't have time to do this live on camera, and we'll come back as some stars are being produced. There goes a couple stars. I missed them coming off the line, but we got there in time to see them. Excellent. I flew around the facility, and I think everything's fine. It's just to give you an idea. You know, like we have these packages coming in at really high rates, but look at just how much we have to split them up. You know, and all these machines need to get backfilled. And since these fill to 500, it's just going to take a while to get this whole thing up and running. But that's fine. That's normal. That's not a problem at all, just as long as it's working. But this is what's slowing us down, right? Once the red and blue ornaments really start to ramp up, everything else will follow suit. So I think that's just it's a matter of letting it go and waiting until the stars get accumulated so that we can unlock the last, the last little bit so we can put the star on our tree. So I'm going to run around and do some other stuff because, you know, we don't AFK this factory. I always make sure I'm doing something and just maybe do some cleanup work and whatnot. And I'll bring you guys back in and we'll put a star on a tree. So I will see you guys probably not soon. But we got to get this done today because as of this recording, it is Christmas Eve, and I'm running out of time to finish this and edit and get it out for you guys. So I will see you guys soon. Oh, here they come, here they come. I totally haven't been sitting here watching this. All right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 500. I like to count from Sesame Street. 500. All right, let's get out of here. So we're gonna get to where we can see some trees and drop a MAM. Better have a MAM material on me. All right. All right, tree in the background. I think we're just gonna get a star on it, but I like to. It's nice to have it in the background. 500. There it is. 3, 2, 1, go. It's kind of funny because 3, 2, 1 countdown. Star.
You better watch out. 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 Ficsmas is coming to town.
Oh boy. That was a little creepy. I think we got some more presents too. I feel like that it's more present filled. Oh, we definitely got our star. Excellent, excellent. All right. I toyed around a little bit more snow. Well, I had plenty of time running around. I've done so much, like just maintenance on the factory. While I was waiting on that, I even went out to the Tower of Power. I've been all over the place. All right. We're going back home because we are out. Oops, we are out of time. We are out of time, and we have accomplished our goal. We have the star on our trees. So time to go home and wrap this up. I will catch you guys there. All right, we are back home, and I want to do one more thing real quick, which is we have a completed tree. So I feel like we should place one. I don't want it to obstruct the view of the, all of our stuff, but I want it to be within view. So this is gonna be a permanent feature. I mean, we might assess if we like where it's at and move it if we don't. But I think that, wow, it is so big compared to our buildings. I think for now let's just drop it right here. Looking good. Oh yeah, that's been a lot of work to get that. All right. Oh, that's not bad. That's not bad at all. Yeah, we'll decide if that's where we want to keep it or if we want to build more of them. Maybe we'll build forest. Who knows? But I know we are way out of time. I want to wish everyone a Merry Christmas and a Happy Holidays. There may or may not be an episode next week because that will be New Year's Day, I think. And who knows? We'll see how things go. But thank you very much for coming out, and thank you for spending your Christmas with me. If you saw this on Christmas Day, thank you for coming back, even if you didn't. I hope you guys enjoyed this episode and the whole Ficsmas strategy that we have gone through. Of course, we have a little bit more cleanup to do, final touches that will be done next episode. But for the most part, we have completed, the challenge. So we'll unlock the rest of the Advent calendar next episode and finish off the building. But thank you very much for coming out, and leave a like if you enjoyed it. Subscribe if you haven't, and if you want to give me a Christmas present, you can do so by just leaving the comment. Love to hear from you guys. Anyway, catch you guys later, and I'll see you in the next episode.